This is the Star Wars The Black Series from Star Wars The Book of Boba Fett. We have I Am Boba Fett. Boba Fett action figure. Very nice. I was so excited to actually get this figure. I love the show. I picked up this figure from a store called Robo in Singapore. Let's get this guy out of packaging. And here is Boba Fett out of packaging. And boy, the hype on this figure is absolutely real. The figure looks amazing, especially in hand. It's got great details, fantastic articulation, wonderful sculpt. Paint apps are on point. Everything about this figure is just amazing. They made a very good representation of the character as he appeared on the Book of Boba Fett. Let's take a closer look at the details of this figure. Figure comes with several accessories. You've got his, let's start with his backpack. The backpack comes with a rocket firing missile. No, it doesn't fire actually, it just is removable. It's a very nice sculpted backpack, very faithful to the original sculpt of the backpack we've gotten from the Boba Fett figures released previously. Look at this new rifle that he has. He also has a brand new sidearm. It's much smaller blaster. And look at the sculpting on this guy. He's got a removable helmet to reveal a fantastic looking head sculpt of Tamura. Look at that. I think they nailed it with this guy, with this head sculpt. Details are just absolutely spot on. There's even a little bit of that the scars and the discoloration of his skin. Really nice. And the helmet just came back from Ace Hardware, repainted and restored. And he comes with the scope that moves up and down. This was a nice touch. And what I do like about the scope is it's made of a very stiff plastic. It's still bendy. You can still bend it. It's not going to break, or it's not as brittle, but it's not as flimsy as some of the other plastic pieces we've had. Let's look at the sculpting on this figure, particularly the body sculpt. Look at that. They did a G.I. Joe styled sculpting wherein they put a vest of sorts on top of the basic torso. And I think that's a good way to do things, so you don't have to sculpt everything on the torso. The armor is literally, you put it on the torso and you get to sculpt the soft, I guess, is not the scarf or the parts of the vest. And then you put the armor sculpting right here. I think this is a better way to do it. You've got some separate pieces for the shoulder armor, which has been sculpted as well. You got some wiring on his gauntlet right here. Oh, word of advice. Make sure you rotate the gauntlet this way so that all the wiring is off to the side, so that when you bend the elbow, you don't stretch these bits of plastic. Before it was packaged this way. When I opened it, when I bent it, I kind of stretched that plastic. So just be cautious of that. Just make sure you rotate that gauntlet so that when you bend the arm, you don't stretch those wiring. So yeah, same with this one. This one's fine. There's no wiring on it. What I do love about this sculpt, yet again, it's just like the Ahsoka figure. They've managed to sculpt the whole the pants, his baggy pants, without really ruining the sculpt and still adding that ball hinge joint. So just like the Ahsoka figure, they've done the same tech or same kind of engineering for the articulation of this figure, which I really like. He's got this piece right here, soft PVC material, no soft goods though, on the belt, holster. The knee rockets, again, are just the soft PVC material that they've sculpted differently. It's nice that they don't have to sculpt one whole leg. They just sculpt the separate pieces together and they assemble it. You got some boot covers and his boots. Overall, just a fantastic sculpt to represent Boba Fett. I am Boba Fett from the show. As far as articulation goes, the neck is on a triple ball joint here, ball joint there, and ball joint at the base. You got a ball joint upper torso. The arms can go outward, forward, and backward. You do have butterfly joints that move ever so slightly. You can hinge the elbow, swivel the elbow, the wrists. This one goes in and out and swivels. This one goes up and down and swivels. The hips, you do the splits, you forward, backward, thigh swivel. As I mentioned earlier, the knees go swivel and they hinge. The ankles go up and down and have the rocker tilt. And for comparisons, here he is with literally his partner in crime. We have Fennec Shand. Man, these two look great together. They're a great display piece on any Book of Boba Fett 6-inch scale shelf. And comparing him with the only other Boba Fett figure in my collection, I had gotten rid of the deluxe Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. This is the only one I kept because I wasn't really feeling that Return of the Jedi figure. But this is the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, or the Archive Boba Fett. And you can see the height. I think they still got it right. If you put the helmet on, they're exactly the same height. Hasbro's really done a wonderful job keeping the scale correct. He's obviously changed his weapons. He's gotten a new blaster. Even his sidearm has changed. And more importantly, the engineering of the backpack did change. It's a very similar sculpt, but this new backpack does have the rotating thrusters and the rocket firing. No, it's not firing. It's just a removable rocket. So definitely the superior backpack. But the design and sculpt and look and feel of the backpack is nearly identical. Except for the engineering. It's very, very similar. Oh, the peg has changed, obviously. So I don't think you can swap the backpacks. Now, as far as the sculpt of the armor goes, it's still very similar. Obviously, this one's going to be changed a little bit. It's going to feel a little bit buffed, and because he's got his dad bod now, so the body sculpt is much different. And also, this one is a vest. It's not sculpted on the actual torso, while this one is. But you look at the gauntlets do feel the same. I'm happy that they've tried to be as faithful to the original as possible, but obviously the armor had undergone some changes. You see the gauntlets right here on the left, on the right arm, very different slightly. The knee rockets, they've, let me see if I can show it off. They've sort of modified it. Wish they could have put a little bit more paint on that one, just like this one, but yeah, he did change a lot of his outfit when his armor got repurposed. So he reclaimed most of the Beskar armor, but he's changed a lot of his garb to become the new daimyo of Tatooine. But overall, he still looks great. The helmet, look at that. Even the helmet looks great. Obviously, this one does have the moving scope. This one doesn't. And lastly, here he is with his buddy, the Mandalorian, Din Djarin. And I think they got the height right. I know Din was a little bit taller than Boba Fett. And so some final thoughts on this Black Series Boba Fett figure from Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett. I absolutely love this figure. I think Hasbro did a wonderful job in designing and sculpting and executing this figure. Hardly any quality issues. I think I got lucky. And the sculpt is amazing. The accessories are great. The articulation is fantastic. The details, sculpting, paint apps, they're all phenomenal on this figure. If you are a big fan of Boba Fett and you're into these Black Series figures, you have got to pick up this figure. Just don't pay scalper prices for it. Best of luck and happy hunting for those of you really looking to get this figure. This figure is going to get a 10 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this new Black Series of Boba Fett figure from the Book of Boba Fett. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.